Hi everyone, today we're looking at the I can't statement. I can write expressions and equations. So we're going to take a look at these two sentences and talk kind of about the differences and the similarities. So we're going to start with the first one. The quotient of a number and 2. Now we've actually done these before, so I'm going to circle any numbers that I see, and so I'm going to read it one more time. Sorry, I have a cold. The quotient of a number. And remember, I circled the word number because in math, that's going to be my variable. That's standing for a number. And then 2 is obviously a number. And then I look through and I see, are there any words that kind of imply or tell me about a mathematical operation? And it's quotient. So quotient means divide. So I'm going to put the little dividing sign there. Number, I don't know what that number is, so I'm going to choose a variable. So I'm going to pick G for me. And then the number 2. So I'm dividing G by 2. There's a few different ways to write that. I'm going to write it like this. So this is an expression. There's no equal sign. It's got variables, operations, and numbers. And so G divided by 2 represents that sentence. Now if I look at this next sentence, I have 8 less than a number is negative 15. So I'm going to go ahead and circle my numbers. 8 less than a number, that's me, my variable again, is negative 15. I'm actually circling negative 15, which seems pretty large there, but that would look like this. And then my number, this time I'm going to use an S for Miss Sletton. When I go through and I underline my math operations or math words, phrases, things like that, I'm going to underline less than. And I remember that that less than is that magical phrase that we talked about in the English language that switches the order. So it's not going to be 8 minus S, it's going to be the other way around because I have to start with my variable S and then take 8 less than that. And then another key word here is the word is. That actually is the equal sign. So if I read through this again, 8 less than a number S, so I'm starting with S and I'm taking away 8, is negative 15. This is the math sentence that matches the word sentence. This time, it's not an expression, it's an equation because you can see that equal sign right there. And then that corresponds with the word is. All right, let's take a look at this one now. Mrs. Sletton's dog Lola weighs 19 pounds. This is 6 pounds more than Mrs. G's cat Buddy. Write an equation that could be used to represent C, the weight in pounds of Mrs. G's cat. All right, so this one obviously is a lot more lengthy than the ones that we've done before. But let's just go through and mark the text. I'm going to start by circling my numbers. I see 19, 6, and then write an equation that could be used to represent C. That's my variable that I'm going to use. And that C is the weight in pounds of Mrs. G's cat. So I'm actually going to go up by Buddy and write a C for the variable because that's what we're using that to represent. Okay, so Mrs. Sletton's dog Lola weighs 19 pounds. This is 6 pounds more than Mrs. G's cat Buddy. Write an equation. I'm going to box that because that's what they're asking me to do here. Write an equation that could be used to represent this. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back through and I'm going to write my math sentence to match the word sentence. So 19 pounds is what we're starting with. This is equals 6 pounds more than. Remember that more than is the magical phrase that switches the order. So I'm going to start with Buddy's weight and then more is adding. So I'm going to add on the 6 pounds. Okay, I'm just going to read back through this and see if this makes sense while I'm watching my equation. I think that's just always a good rule of thumb. to go back through it. So Mrs. Sletton's dog Lola weighs 19 pounds. This is 6 pounds more than Mrs. G's cat Buddy. Yep, I think we have it. Here is the equation that matches that sentence. All right, hopefully you guys have a better understanding of how to write expressions and equations and figuring out which one is which. Have a nice day.